What'd you guys do today? Did you get any work done? Well, Timmy played with David Yost toys, and I farted. Actually, first I want to show this off. We were talking about this earlier. This is
old school McDonald's.
old school McDonald's toy. There's
you guys remember this?
Yeah, there's a at the flea market. I've seen you could probably get these at a flea market actually right now for a good price, but right now you can. But I mean, I'm sure in the future it'll be more difficult to find. That's why I'm trying to buy these things up so much right now. Like before people start buying them up, like that one guy was talking about that buys like 50 of everything, and I can't get any of it. But
scalpers, we don't like
scalpers. Michael Keaton's coming for you, scalping ass. Oh God, I'll get that. No, I'll get it later. But yeah, I love this toy. This is one of my favorite toys. I have to speak about this because for 90s toys, dude.
Honestly, that was good quality compared to what we have now.
It was. I think that toys that come from like Happy Meals and like kids meals from the 90s. I mean, they're still kind of cool, I guess, today. But those ones back in the 90s, I loved. Yeah. My favorite toy of all time. I don't even have it here or any of them here. But Burger King did a Universal Monsters run. They had these Universal Monsters.
I remember that.
And they had Dracula, the Wolfman, the Creature, and Frankenstein.
I think I had the Creature.
Yeah, it had the Creature. I remember it had the Creature, but it didn't have... maybe it didn't have... There's one of them that was missing, actually. It was the Mummy that they didn't have, I don't think. They were missing the Mummy. But that was my favorite. The Dracula, of course, was my favorite. I waited to get that Dracula forever. Like, you know how you go to a restaurant and you wait forever. Like, when you were a kid, you would go and you'd be like, I hope I get this. And it's something else. I waited for that Dracula and I finally got it. I ended up having like 2 of them or 3 of them. And now here I am today without one of them to show off. I mean, I can show that off.
We'll have to eBay it.
We'll have to eBay it. I mean, I've seen them around, but, you know, I should have, the couple times that I have seen them, I bought other things and just didn't buy those, and now I regret the hell out of it. I regret it so much, because I really, really want those, because they were my favorite toy ever. Also, I
believe these came from, where did these come from?
What is that, by the way?
It is Vulpix from Pokemon.
Is it? Okay.
Which is
gotta talk about Pokemon, of course.
Massive in the 90s.
Massive, yeah.
I believe this came from KFC or Taco Bell, maybe?
Is that a
It was one of those weird ones. It was really? A fast food restaurant, but it wasn't like a McDonald's or something.
Is it? Yeah, it's probably something for like Hardee's or KFC or something.
I just remember I wanted the whole set for Christmas, and I got it, and I was friggin' excited.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, again, BK, Burger King had. Do you remember the Pokemon, the metal? Or not metal? They weren't metal. They were 14 karat gold cards in the Pokeballs.
Those were awesome. I have one of those. I can't remember which one, but I have one.
I want to go to your house and touch it.
I want to go to your house and touch it.
But yeah, like I think I would love to have one of those too. But yeah, the 90s had like the coolest. 90s had the coolest toys that were from McDonald's, and cereal toys too, which I don't have any right now, but they had good stuff in the cereal boxes.
You don't find that stuff nowadays.
Today they give you garbage in the cereal boxes.
But Pokemon was massive. There were toys, there were cards, there were video games.
I remember, and I did the same thing with Beanie Babies. Yeah. When they came out, they were so hot that I liked them a bunch. Like, I was into them so much, but I think it was partly because everybody else was. Like, it really was.
Can see that.
Like, I was really like, I was trying to get up some Poke cards and trying to get into it because I was like, this is a thing. People are loving this. And, like, every kid in my class, in, like, my 3rd grade class, had Pokemon cards and had had them all, like, laying out and stuff. And had the Beanie Babies, too, back when they were doing that, like I was saying. They had all those laying out and they were playing with them all the time. And I looked like a total dork because I was like, man, I got a hat, so I went and bought a bunch. And I was trying to be cool, Trying to be cool, Timmy.
Speaking of Pokemon, speaking of the games, video games in the 90s were off the charts.
Yes. The
graphics were damn, look at them graphics.
Damn, look at them graphics. That's a knee slapper. But man,
the 8-bit video games and stuff.
Everybody loves 8-bits.
Like, you didn't have to have amazing graphics back in the day to make a good game.
No.
I've got a few of my Sega Genesis games here. I'm sure everybody remembers Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was awesome. I love those games still. Like, those are my fighting games are my favorites.
We had Sonic, of course. Everybody loves Sonic. And then there were these sports games.
Wait, what sports game was that, though?
That was not hockey.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. As long as you didn't
that was the foosball.
As long as you didn't throw hockey. By the way, we will be doing sports stuff, but, like, we don't. That's not what we're into. So. Not what we're into, except for hockey. But wrestling.
I will say this. Here's another bad thing. The wrestling games were god awful
in the 90s.
Yeah, like I would literally play these just to hear the theme songs in like 8-bit mode.
Really?
Other than that, I would always get my ass whooped.
Right.
Stone Cold Steve Austin would murder me, and yeah,
that's awesome. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin spit beer at me and call me a
there's a lot of people that would pay for that. One of them me.
One of them. Sonic was awesome. Sega was awesome, and I love Sega.
Sega was great.
Yeah, Sega was awesome. I had the Game Genie that I used to. Yes. The Game Genie was. I had a poster of that once that had the dude with the. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Genesis. But my favorite system ever, which I don't have any games here. Actually, do I have any Super Nintendo? Super Nintendo was the best to me. I love Super Mario Brothers 3. I love Mario Kart. Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd, which is a movie I'm talking about in a second. It had a video game.
And it was played that. I did play the Batman. I think it was the Batman Forever game for Super Nintendo.
Oh God!
And it was. I could never beat it, but it was super fun.
Really? Oh, man, I was huge into Batman. Been my whole life, but like I do remember that one. I remember playing it, and but I didn't play it overly. When I turned about 13 or 12, I bought. I don't know if you remember. I bought like a Super Nintendo off of you. I bought a Super Nintendo off of him, and
that was a long time ago.
I went, it was like 99 or something. I went and bought a. They were out by then, so like it was like 20, it was cheap. You were like at $20. Today you'd be like, you give me some money for that. But then later I went and bought Judge Dredd, which was a video game that was based off the 1995 film that had Sylvester Stallone, which people hated too. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. But that game was awesome to me. It was awesome. I know you didn't play it, but like, do you remember?
I think I may have. Did you have to go around and collect the Judge Dredd badges?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, and then
instead of coins
he used to like wiggle off the side of the thing, and I'd be like, "Look at his jicky dance."
His jicky dance.
He's doing the jicky dance.
We often do the jicky dance.
We often do the jicky dance. The drunk girl dance. The girl that's drunk. The girl that's drunk at the bar. Just. It's like she's out of it, but she's stone cold out of it, but she's still here. She's still here. But yeah, dude, I love that game. I love Super Nintendo. Okay, the games we've squawked about. What else should we talk about, sir? I mean, or do you want to mention any more of these toys? Because we should definitely talk about Power Rangers. What is your favorite childhood toy that you remember from the 90s? I mean, even if it's not a 90s toy and it was out near, a decade before or something. In the 90s, what was your favorite?
In the
thing to play with.
90s, it had to be the Star Wars figures. There's no other toy that I can really think of that brought me that much joy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he has the biggest Star Wars collection ever that I've seen. But I'm sure other people have tons more shit. But you got a bunch, dude. You have a room full, and you've been collecting Star Wars things since
since the 90s.
Yeah, since the 90s, and not to sound like what they call hipsters, but you liked it before it was cool to like it. I mean, I guess Star Wars has never not been cool, but you liked it, you know what I'm talking about? Like, you were always, like, you used to get, like, a bunch of crap for it in school. Yep. Like, I remember kids picking on you, and it was the same with me for Batman. Like, people picked on me endlessly in elementary school to where, like, I didn't even wear Batman shirts. By 5th grade, by the time I got into middle school, that was the point where I was, like, trying to act like I didn't like comic books, and, like, trying to act like I didn't like Batman and stuff. I think today that's probably totally different. Like, today's...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, back in the day, everybody went through that.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the show. Everybody's a nerd about something. About something,
yeah. I'm a nerd about horror and comics and Batman. I think, like, even a lot of if there's kids, like, younger people, that are, like, in high school or middle school right now watching this, they probably know that it's totally different now. Like, there was a time when I was in high school. I remember this one time I was standing in a hallway and I was reading an Iron Man comic book, and this girl that I had a crush on, Sarah, I'm not going to say her last name on here, and then I'm like, her name's Sarah.
I'll just bleep her. I'll bleep her name out.
Sarah. It's Sarah. Find me. I love you. But she was coming down the hallway, and man, she was hot. And she was coming down the hallway, and I was like, oh. And I had that comic book, and two boys that were with me were like, you got to put that comic book down. She's coming. Like, they're acting like I had an H-bomb or something, or that, like, I was my pants. And they're just like, you can't do that. You can't do that. So I think it's different today. I think that, like, if you got today, I think she would be wearing an Iron Man shirt, probably. Or an Avengers shirt.
I can see that.
Or something like that. So, like, it's easier, a little bit easier to be a nerd. Maybe there's a lot of bandwagoners, but hey, that's how it starts. You got to start somewhere, right?
That's a bad thing about the 90s.
What's a bad thing?
We were having trouble figuring out bad things about the 90s.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think that would be it. Everybody got picked on for being a nerd back then.
Nowadays,
that doesn't happen. Because everybody's a nerd about something.
Everybody's a nerd about something, yeah. I mean, I guess it would have been more symbolic for us to do this show, like, years ago. But, like, this, it wasn't... In the 90s, we couldn't have done... We weren't even old enough in the 90s to do this. But, man, we would have been nerd proud back then. Oh, yeah. Like, in Revenge of the Nerds, we would have been, like, totally nerd proud. But, yeah, we were having trouble figuring out things in the 90s that were bad.
If you guys can think of something, go ahead and comment and let us know, because honestly, we have no idea.
Yeah, we don't really have anything that we could have brought up or spoke about, because I guess some people would say, like, Vanilla Ice, or,
even nowadays, people were enjoying Ice Ice Baby.
Rob Van Winkle, he's a sexy man. He's really cool, though, really. He loves Ninja Turtles, right?
I mean, who doesn't?
He has a collection. He has, like, a huge collection of Ninja Turtles, and he did that, what was that music video? What was that Ninja Turtle music video that he did? Somebody out there is going to know what I'm talking about. Somebody's going to know what I'm talking about. It was Ninja Rap?
Send us a link to that.
Ninja Rap? Somebody send us the Ninja Rap. I think that's what it's called. It might not be called Ninja Rap. But yeah, that dude's really cool. And, like, there's just things that people would have picked on. There's things that I would have picked on back then that I won't now, because now my nostalgic and my love is, like back then I hated NSYNC. And, like, when I was a kid, I was like, man, I don't want to deal with NSYNC. It's a girly band, and I don't want to have anything to do with them. And, like, today, I listen to the music, and it gives me that feeling, that, like, warm feeling.
It takes
of, like,
you back.
Yeah, of being back then. And we're going to do a music episode sometime, too, and we'll talk about that. We got to talk about Power Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about Power Rangers, man. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. When I think of being a kid, it's like that and Goosebumps are like the first things that I think about.
And don't ask why all we have is like the Blue Ranger. That confuses me as well.
Strangely enough, we have a bunch of.
I literally think it's because it was the least played with. Sorry, David Yost. I'm sorry.
David, we love you.
Yes.
We love you so much. Look at this. Look at you. Representing.
But I truly think that it was the least played with.
Yeah, you got one of those, I call them flip heads.
Flip heads?
I used to call them flip heads as a kid. I'm still going to call them flip heads.
It's
these things.
Action figures with morphing action.
Action figures with morphing action.
And you would push the belt and Shazam.
Yes, I loved
They actually re-released these last year, I believe.
I was wanting to actually buy some of the re-releases. How are those?
I mean, it's like the original 90's packaging and everything, so that's pretty sweet.
Actual toy put together well? Somebody was talking about...
It's exactly the same.
Okay. Somebody was talking about something that was coming out. Somebody was talking about something that came out recently that was a Power Rangers reboot something. It was a toy of some sort. And they were like, man, they just... Maybe it was a comic. Something that somebody was talking about at the con.
Yeah.
In the first episode, they were talking about how something came out that they were redoing. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I was hoping that it wasn't the toys, because those new toys that you're talking about, they look awesome. Like, I really love them. I have a pop figure.
I will say the Legacy Collection and the remakes are fantastic toys, but what is it? What are they on now? Like Super Ninja Steel? Those toys are awful. Which the toy company Hasbro actually just bought Power Rangers.
Really?
From Saban.
From Saban?
Yeah.
Saban's had it forever, though.
He sold it to Disney for a while, and then bought it back.
Oh, really?
And now he's selling it to Hasbro. It's like Futurama, which that started in the 90's, didn't it?
It did, like yeah. We should totally mention Futurama. Futurama was amazing. It's still amazing.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. They had didn't they they brought a season back, and then it got canceled, right?
Yep.
Again?
Yep.
I want to see his new show. I'd like to tell people about it, but I don't remember the name of it. It's on Netflix right now.
I'll put a link to
They'll
it.
put it. Yeah, put a link to it. Yeah, you got to see that because, man, Matt Groening's a genius.
Yes.
But, yeah, the Power Rangers are something that mean the world to us. Seriously, dude, when I think about... Look at David Kick again.
He still does.
He still does. He does. David's... Man, I'd like to try to stand him up there. But yeah, when I think about my childhood, seriously, it's almost like Fox Kids is like the first thing I think about, because I think about Goosebumps, I think about Erie, Indiana, I think about Power Rangers, I think about Beetleborgs.
Yes.
I think about, you were talking about the Fox Kids Expo.
Yeah.
Which I never went to. You went to that, didn't you?
I was fortunate enough to go to one of them.
All right.
It was awesome, except for the oversized Bart Simpson that was walking around. There
was an oversized Bart.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess because they aired it on Fox or something. I honestly don't know, but
well, you yourself because I was that guy in that suit. No, but really. But yeah, I never did get to go to the expo, but I always wanted to. I always thought it was really cool.
They were fun. They were like a convention before conventions were even around.
Right. I did go to Rugrats Live.
Rugrats
Live, yeah. It was like
I don't remember that.
It was a live show where people were dressed as the Rugrats.
Interesting.
And I'm telling you,
were they skating around or something?
They weren't skating around.
So it wasn't Rugrats on Ice.
It was not Rugrats on Ice. But you know what, though? I'm trying to think of screenplay ideas. Rugrats on Ice. But, yeah, I went and saw that, and it was awesome. That's a big childhood memory, dude. Chucky Finster. I mean, he was the best, man. He was the best. He was my favorite, probably, in that show. I really miss the girl that did the voice of him. She was wonderful. But yeah, Rugrats, man. Rugrats and Power Rangers. Power Rangers, I feel like we should talk more about Power Rangers, but I mean, maybe one day we'll do a Power Rangers episode because we really need to cover.
Absolutely.
We really need to cover a lot of this stuff a lot more. I mean,
I plan to cover everything.
I mean, yeah.
I would love for this show to go on for years. I think
Ever.
amazing.
Yeah, because we just love. You know,
we're nerds. We're huge nerds.
We're noids. I mean, look at us. Where is? What was I going to talk about next?
Do you want to talk about the movies?
The movies, yes. I want to talk about 90's movies. First up is Pulp Fiction, which is obviously, holy God, what's going on down here? Anyway, Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino's second full-length feature film, is like probably it's one of the most important movies of the 90's. It's one of the most influential films ever made. It's one of the most important independent films ever made because it is, you know, an independent film. Uma Thurman is fantastic in it. Everybody's fantastic in it.
John Travolta is my father.
John Travolta's Timmy's real dad. And by the way, you need to give him some money because you owe him that child support money. I know that you're not doing Face Off 2 right now, but you owe him some money. But Pulp Fiction, Pulp Fiction is definitely. I didn't put it in right, but it's definitely a must-own film and one of the most important films in the 90's. So that one, get it, buy it, see it if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. Everybody probably has. I mean, you should. You should. It's Pulp Fiction, for God's sake.
I agree on that one.
Isn't this one awesome, dude?
That is a wonderful little set there.
Yeah, it is. This is the collector's edition that probably came out in like 2003 or something. I got an amazing. I should have showed it off. Army of Darkness.
Yes, anything with Bruce Campbell.
Anything with Bruce Campbell is important and needed in the world. Sam Raimi directed this film. It's amazing. It's hilarious. It's got everything you want. It's got horror. It has comedy. It has Bruce Campbell, for God's sakes. Dazed and Confused. All right. Right? Dazed and Confused is Richard Linklater directed this movie. It is one of my favorites. I think it captures. This is a movie that was made in the 90's, but it's about the 70's. It's about the 70's,
yeah.
And it captures the 70's beautifully. The casting in this movie is perfect. The casting and the soundtrack is perfect. I mean, you can't find a better cast or soundtrack probably at anything else, especially soundtrack, because the soundtrack has everything. It has Kiss. It has Led Zeppelin, Bob Dylan, Alice Cooper, everybody almost that's important was on this soundtrack. I heard something. Somebody's over here doing something weird. But Batfleck.
I bet it's Sean.
It's probably Sean. Sean's gonna die one day because Timmy's gonna beat him up. But this movie, you gotta have it. Dazed and Confused. If you know, Tim's like, yeah. It's good. It's alright. It's no Army of Darkness to Tim.
I mean, yeah.
But it's pretty good. It's almost there. Timmy, you probably don't give a shit about this. Romeo and Juliet.
Actually, I agree with this one, absolutely.
Really? Good.
This is a fantastic movie. I like it.
Thank you. Well, I mean, dude, I think I was watching it like a week ago, and for the time period where Baz Luhrmann directed this film, by the way. He also directed Moulin Rouge, and hold on a second. The Great Gatsby. I have a poster over there for it, and I'm like, he also directed that one. But
so basically, anything with DiCaprio, he was like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, great cast, great soundtrack again too. Love me, say that you love this movie. Get it? Say that you love Timmy, and get it. Seriously, I want to see that in the comments. Tell Timmy you love him.
Bring on the love.
Bring on the butt love. The Matrix.
I don't know about butt love, but Matrix, yeah.
Neo, please. But this movie is, people are quick to make fun of it today. Marvel wasn't making movies in the 90's.
Yeah.
And, DC covered Batman in the 90's. But nobody was really making too many superhero movies back then.
Do you remember I believe it was in 1995. They made a Fantastic Four movie. It was never really released.
I heard about that. I think it was 94, 95. Yeah. I actually want to see that. Like, I've seen clips from it, and it looks kind of.
I don't know if it even exists in its entirety.
It might not,
because they didn't. They never really released it.
Yeah.
It was never meant for release. It was something that they literally made it just so they could keep the copyright fresh, so that it wouldn't go to. You guys can Google it.
right?
But this is what I've heard.
Right. But Blade is an important movie, and it started so much. I mean, truly, and it's one of my favorite movies ever. There's a couple of great songs too on this soundtrack. By the way, what were you? Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say? You were gonna say something.
I was gonna say, speaking of soundtracks, was it just me or did everybody in the 90s have the Space Jam soundtrack?
Everybody had the Space. I had the Space.
Pretty sure everybody had it.
I had the Space Jam soundtrack. Yeah.
I can't bash it because I mean there were some good songs on there in the movie. It wasn't awful.
It wasn't awful. Well, back then I loved that movie, dude. I mean, everybody loved it.
Back in the day, it was fantastic. Nowadays, I mean it still holds up to a point.
Yeah. Friday.
Oh man.
I mean, this movie is probably easily one of the funniest movies of the 90s. Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, F. Gary Gray directed this. Ice Cube and Chris Tucker are his greatest team ever, right, in this movie?
No.
I guess it tells you what kind of parents I had, but I grew up with this movie. When I was a kid, they showed it to me when I was around 9 or 10. About 9, and I grew up loving this movie.
We have seen this at least 100 times.
Yeah.
Where we would just sit around and BS and just watch movies.
Yeah, and we probably
all summer, all day.
Yeah, we probably quoted it a billion times. It's very quotable. Very quotable movie. Probably one of the most quotable movies ever. Office Space.
Office Space, yes.
Office Space.
Yes.
This movie is important to a lot of people because it's a cult favorite. This movie has become a cult favorite, a real cult. Because like I'll go into like some stores and I'll see bobbleheads, and this movie's it's got great quotes, and it's became a much loved movie now. Mike Judge directed it. Mike Judge, who also created Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill, directed this movie. He also directed another great movie, Idiocracy, which was hilarious, and Extract.
I believe that's a documentary about the future.
It is a documentary about the future. It's about me and Timmy putting Gatorade in the water system.
Now that I would do.
Yeah, dude. I would too.
I'd be okay with that.
Especially that glacier freeze. That's delicious. Anyway, we're talking about like on here on the show. It's like you want to get some chicken later? Yeah, let's get some chicken. We just leave and then credits. Office Space.
I can make that happen.
Like, if you want to do that. Okay, this one is important. Another important film in the 90s. Again, people can make jokes about it. The Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project. Well, I know people hate this. Some people hate it. Some people.
I still have to rag on it, dude.
People will rag on it. I mean, but I think this movie, as a horror aficionado or huge, freak of horror films, this movie, it started something different. I mean, this movie used the internet at a time when people weren't really using the internet. I mean,
I will definitely give you that point.
People believed this at the time. I believed it. Like, people believed that this happened. And today that wouldn't happen. No. Nobody believes the found footage movies now.
That's one of a kind. Like, that it didn't happen before that movie, and it hasn't happened since.
It hasn't happened since, and probably can't, because people are smart now. People and the internet.
I don't know about that.
Idiocracy. Wait a second.
Before you put that one away.
Yes. Anyway, you gonna say about it? Or say something?
We made a fake documentary.
That's right. Good God.
The Sock People.
Yeah, we made a fake documentary.
And I believe we actually did the camera up the nose shot.
We did the camera up the nose shot, and we didn't take sticks and hang them everywhere, but we took socks.
Yes.
We put socks all over trees. It's like one of our first movies, and one day One day maybe we'll find it. They used to play it. People used to watch it on video. I'm very not proud of it, but people used to watch it.
We are very not proud of it.
We are very bad filmmakers. Thanks for...
As you can tell.
As you can tell. Thanks for not subscribing. Clerks.
Yes.
Clerks.
Yes.
This is my... I think is this the... Oh, no, it's almost the last one. No, yeah. A couple more. But this one is so important. So important to me because it made me want to be a filmmaker, and it made me want to... It made me love hockey. It made me want to be a nerd and be... Or not be a nerd, but be proud of being a nerd back when it wasn't cool to be a nerd. Because Kevin Smith... At no point in his life was he like, I don't want people to know I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
Like, he's always been very,
cool with it.
very proud of his nerdism. I want to talk so much about this, but I'm going to probably do a whole thing on Kevin Smith because...
we could do that.
We should do that because, I mean, he was a big inspiration to us. There's Buddy Christ right there. Yeah, so honorable mention is also Dogma. But this movie changed my life and will probably change yours too, especially in your your early 20s and you're working some shitty job and you're just like, going through life. This movie will help you out through everything. It's great. This has been a lifesaver to me, and it's essential. Clerks. It's from 1994. Kevin Smith. You got to get it. The Big Lebowski. And I think last is, this is just a favorite of mine. It's probably not even
a good one.
It's probably not even a 90s essential, but one of my favorite movies ever is Natural Born Killers. What the fuck do you want? We're gonna. Will you cut?
I want to know if the nerd hunter's still here. I just seen a damn nerd walking down the street.
We'll cut it there before. That's why.
I'm leaving that in. I don't know. I was just saying that Harley Quinn is the greatest thing.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Harley Quinn.
90s.
Yeah, Harley Quinn was really a really important character.
It's what, 26 years?
Yeah, and now her
26
comic
years.
book is worth how god much, and I used to have it.
You used to have it.
Yeah, I used to have it. I had the Batgirl.
Let's build
issue.
a time machine, go back in time, beat your ass into
We should. We should. I should have David Yost be my... I should have David Yost be my... But, we're going to dedicate this episode to David, shouldn't we? He's kicking his own ass. That's how bad he is.
Right?
How dare people call him?
He is the new Chuck Norris.
He is. We should start making memes for him. Heck yeah.
Hey, Dave, that's coming.
It's coming, Dave.
Yeah.
It's coming. Now I'm going to talk about Goosebumps. There's nothing there, but you can digitally put something there, right? Later? Or wait.
No, that's not how that works.
It's not going to go there? Are you going to put it up there? You don't you dare.
You have one up here.
What?
One Goosebumps.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Well, I have a bunch of them.
I love playing with David Yost.
I love it. It's so funny.
Sunshine started following nerd culture shots.
Sunshine.
Thank you, Sunshine.
Okay. I'm going to get the dust off these. Oh my god. Goosebumps. Goosebumps was... I know I talked about, Power Rangers being my childhood, and yes it is, and Fox Kids. This is part of Fox Kids too, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Says...
I think everybody read these in elementary school in the 90s.
Yes.
This was the thing. Like, you had to read the books at school. You had to...
oh, man, definitely.
You got like free pizza from reading books. You remember that?
Yeah,
That
I
was
remember
also
that.
from Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
That was too sweet, Pizza Hut.
Too sweet. Why don't you do that again? Where are you? Goosebumps is amazing to me and essential. My favorite books. What's your favorite Goosebumps book? Or favorite Goosebumps story?
Oh god.
Would you say? I was swinging these around here.
I haven't seen these in years, so honestly I don't remember half of them.
Vampire Breath. These two right here were important.
You have them in order, right? I don't want
to no, it don't matter. I can fix the order later. These two right here, people, this is Attack of the Mutant and Phantom of the Auditorium. They were the first two that I fell in love with because I love comic books and I loved them as a kid, obviously, and I loved Phantom of the Opera. I loved Universal horror films and everything, so this one I love to death. Attack of the Mutant and Phantom of the Auditorium, and also Vampire Breath. Vampire Breath, The Headless Ghost. The Headless Ghost was also my favorite, one of my favorites, and Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns. And I can't leave out, what's that one, dude? Terror Tower. Night in Terror Tower, which also had a good film, too. That
Say
went with
cheese
it.
and die.
Say cheese.
Now, this one creeped me out.
What was that? Oh, Night of the Living Dummy?
Yeah.
I think Night
Which you have two of, looks like. Oh,
Take
they're
one-
two different editions.
Two different editions, yeah. Take one home and get your scared off.
I'm good. This
Take
dummy
one,
would bite
take
my
one
cock.
home and let it look at you all day. Pantsless.
Now, I do remember this one, Beware the Snowman. I remember that
Beware
one.
the Snowman, yes.
That was a good one.
The Beast from the East, Egg Monsters from Mars. The Haunted Mask. Haunted
yes.
Mask are classics. Yes, the Haunted Mask is the second one's right down here. They're classics. And they're beautiful. Actually, there's, we're not affiliated with them, but the new film, Goosebumps.
I am.
Haunted Halloween. They're paying me. I hate. Are they paying you and not me? What the hell? Well, then don't go see it. No, go see.
I mean, you talked to Sean about that.
Sean. Yeah, but Goosebumps Haunted Halloween is coming out, and it's going to be awesome. But Goosebumps was. It still is so important to me. Again, I think about Goosebumps and I think about Power Rangers and Nickelodeon. We're going to do another 90s episode later, so we're going to talk more about Nickelodeon and the music and everything else. I mean, I know we said that we would go into more things about the 90s. Like, we're even playing. There's Pete and Pete's playing over here now, which I'd like to talk about Pete and stuff more, too. I've mainly been covering Fox Kids stuff, but I love Fox Kids so much, and I love Goosebumps so much. R.L. Stine, dude, he's like...
Rolden Elstein.
Rolden Elstein. Yeah, R.L. Stine is the man.
I messed up your order.
Don't matter. It don't matter. Take it up with R.L. Stine, sir. He's mad
We'll
about
make Sean redo it.
We'll make Sean redo it. He's a piece of Okay. He's our cameraman. He's a piece of Alright. This set this is one of my proudest, I love these. We were talking about showing
quite
off.
a collection, honestly.
Thank you. I have a couple more. Actually, when we were talking about doing toys and talking about our favorite toys and showing off our favorite toys, Goosebumps was the first thing I thought about. Doing show and tell and stuff. Because Goosebumps this is the 90s to me. Like, this is it right here. I mean, I can read these and it's my happy place, my happy tomb in the darkness. That is horror. That is 90s. It's beautiful. I love R.L. Stine and I love Goosebumps. So, if you don't have any Goosebumps books, you need to get them. You need to get my books. They're called Moose Lumps, and they're knockoffs.
I've read them. They're awful.
There's a lot of hot stuff though. Okay. Anyway, great books, and an essential part of childhood, aren't they? Goosebumps is an essential part of childhood, especially for us, for 90s kids especially. So
No, R.L. Stine did do a separate set. It was more for teens than it was.
Was it Fear Street? Is Fear Street the name of it? Yeah,
Yes.
Fear Street.
I remember that.
Fear Street was great. And he's done a couple adult novels since and stuff too, but he's the best. He's the R.L. not the R.L. Stein. He's the Stephen King.
He's the R.L. Stein of R.L. Stein.
He's the Steins of Steins. But he's the Stephen King of, kids horror.
I can see that.
I
mean, look, the dude works.
The dude totally works, way more than us. He's not just like, look at these books people wrote. He goes and writes books.
We don't do that.
We don't do that. We're reading I've never read these. Oh, look, he made a David Yost. He made a Power Rangers pyramid out of David. Oh my God.
You're getting attacked.
Robo Batman the Animated Series. So anyway, thank you all for watching this episode. We're going to talk more about 90s stuff next time because we didn't cover enough here. Because we don't have enough time, sadly. But, I don't know, man. Is there anything you want to say about growing up? I mean, there's a lot of... about childhood. I mean, there's way more I would like to get deeply into, but... Because...
my childhood was Star Wars, Pokemon, and... thanks to you, some Batman, some Dick Tracy, some Ninja Turtles. And Power Rangers was a huge influence on me.
Yeah.
I still watch it. Not gonna lie, I have like the first 12 seasons on DVD.
That's so
So
awesome.
yeah, that's pretty sweet. But other than that,
I think I also think it's cool that Power Rangers are sort of coming back. Like, I mean, they never went away, but you know what I mean? Like, the classic ones, you know, they're getting a lot more love now, and I think they deserve that, you know, because for years, you know, people sort of forgot about them. I mean, and like, I don't know. I love that people are rewatching. Kids nowadays are rewatching them. They're watching the old, or not rewatching, but watching them for the first time.
Yeah.
The Power Rangers.
A whole new generation.
Whole new generation, you know, meeting Tommy, and didn't everybody have a crush on the Pink Ranger?
Kimberly, yes.
Everybody had a crush on.
Of course. Everybody in the 90s.
Yeah, she was great.
I think David Yost even did.
Hey, we wanted her. He did. Amy Jo Johnson.
Yes.
She's in love with me. I follow her on Instagram. She's in love with me. That's not true, actually. It's a total lie. You know it's a lie. Why am I squawking about this? Yeah, I love Goosebumps so much. But the 90s, to me, yeah, Goosebumps. It was Goosebumps. It was Batman. It was, I don't know, it was a different time. I mean, you know, it's hard to talk about nostalgia and talk about, like, how you felt back then, because you can't have that again. Like, I guess you can.
It'll never feel the same, though.
It won't. I mean, you can
get little chunks of it back.
Yeah.
You can read Goosebumps. You can watch Star Wars. You can play with David Yost. But you'll never get that feeling.
He'll never be looking down at you or up at you down at you from your TV. Because I remember looking up at, I was always on the floor. Maybe that's why the world looked so huge to me when I was a kid. I was always on the damn floor.
On the floor.
I lived on the damn floor. But thank you all for watching this episode, and get to us if you want to talk about 90s stuff and tell us about your favorite 90s stuff and what your favorite Goosebumps book is. And
absolutely.
We'll be doing some more episodes, and we'll be talking about more toys, and we'll show off more things. The next episode's going to be, I don't know what. What were you going to say?
I think we're going to do a separate Toy Nerd episode.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We're going to do a Star Wars Nerd episode, of course. And I believe we're going to do a Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween episodes. I love Halloween. I'm obsessed with it, and it's important.
Absolutely.
It's important. So thank you, nerds, and come back next week when Tim will be butt naked with a baseball bat.
Also, keep an eye out. We're going to be working with some autism awareness.
Yeah.
Charities and programs, and we're going to have a shirt coming out soon. With proceeds going to those charities. So just keep an eye out for that.
All right.
I don't know when we're going to do it, but hopefully soon.
I love how I was like, he's going to be naked and covered in blood. Also, we're going to help children. But anyway,
that's what we do. We're terrible people, but we're good people.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, and join us again very, 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 very soon. And go enjoy some 90s stuff and be a kid again, and forget about your troubles in life, because,
forget about the bills, forget about the car payments.
Yeah. Throw that
Get a Goosebumps, play with David Yost.
Yeah, play with David like Timmy's been doing all day. I mean, we've done a lot of hard work here today. I've farted a lot. He's played with a lot of David Yost toys. Yeah. So, thank you, and we hope you enjoyed. Come back and see us ASAP.